When did you realize the person everyone warned you about was actually trying to protect you? For me, it started when I was 12 years old, the year Marcus moved in next door. Imagine being told your entire life that someone is a monster, a danger to children, only to discover that every single adult around you is terribly, tragically wrong. And that the very man everyone feared, the one we were all warned about, was actually the only one protecting us the whole time. I still remember the day the whispers started, buzzing through our quiet neighborhood like a venomous swarm. That's the man from the news, Mrs. Henderson hissed, clutching her pearls like they could ward off evil. The one who went to prison. Mom grabbed my arm that first evening, her fingers digging in so hard they'd leave marks, as I headed out to ride my bike. Her voice was sharp, laced with a fear I'd never heard before. Stay away from that house, Emma. That man is dangerous. He hurt children. I wanted to ask how she knew, what exactly he'd done, why someone dangerous would even be allowed to live here. But the look in her eyes stopped me cold. This wasn't a discussion, it was a decree. For weeks, I watched him from my bedroom window. He kept to himself, tending a small garden that was, surprisingly, quite beautiful, neat rows of tomatoes and sunflowers with handwritten labels. He never made eye contact, never waved back when kids rode past. In fact, when children appeared on bikes, parents would immediately call them inside, their voices sharp with panic. Even the mailman wouldn't walk up his driveway. He'd toss packages from the sidewalk and hurry away as if the house itself was contaminated. Mrs. Patterson across the street started a phone tree, calling every parent whenever Marcus left his house. He's headed toward the school, she'd whisper into the receiver. Better keep the kids inside today. The homeowners association even held an emergency meeting. I wasn't supposed to know, but I overheard Mom on the phone with Mrs. Chin, their voices low and worried. We've contacted a lawyer, Mom said. There has to be something we can do, some way to get him out of here. But there wasn't. Marcus had served his time, whatever that time had been for. He had every legal right to live wherever he wanted, even if that somewhere was right next door to families with children. But I started noticing things others didn't. Little things that poked holes in everything the adults were saying. Like how he'd leave his porch light on until exactly 4:15 p.m. every weekday, which was precisely when I got home from school. Even though he worked nights, I'd see him watching from his kitchen window as I walked up our driveway, and only then would the light click off. Or how he'd suddenly appear to water his plants whenever the Parker boys followed me down our street, and they'd mysteriously decide to take a different route home. At first, I thought it was coincidence, but it happened too many times to be random. His curtains would twitch whenever I walked past, like he was keeping watch, not in a creepy way, but more like a guard dog checking for threats. I started paying attention to his routine. Every morning at 7:30 a.m., he'd leave for his night shift at Morrison's warehouse, dressed in a simple blue uniform with his name embroidered on the pocket, driving a beat-up Honda Civic that looked like it had seen better decades. He'd return at 6 a.m., park, and go straight inside. On weekends, he'd work in his garden, but the moment children appeared outside, he'd pack up his tools and disappear. If a kid's ball rolled into his yard. Full story on the channel. Link below. Click now and watch what happened next.